Hey, what's up guys? So Escort has just announced a new custom installed radar detector called the Redline Ci 360C. It's essentially a custom installed version of the windshield mount Redline 360C, but it's a custom installed one, hence the name Redline Ci 360C. CI for custom installed. Additionally, Escort's also pairing it with their newly redesigned laser jammers. And this new Redline Ci 360C looks like it basically addresses some of the biggest weaknesses that I've seen on the previous gen Max Ci 360. Now, I haven't been sent one of these new Redlines to test and review. However, Escort now has some information posted on their website. I'll drop a link to it down underneath the like button if you'd like to read more. But basically in this video, I want to cover three different things. Number one, we're going to go over a quick overview of this new system. Number two, I want to share kind of my initial thoughts here of this new Redline Ci 360C. And number three, I also want to go over the improvements compared to the previous gen Max Ci 360. So starting off with our overview here of this new Redline Ci 360C, let's begin by taking a look at the radar portion. So Escort says that it comes with dual M14 antennas. Now, it doesn't specify anything as far as improvements over the windshield mount versions, M12 platform antenna, but I do expect that it's also going to give you long-range performance as well as your photo radar detection, something that we didn't have on the Max Ci 360. Speaking of which, I also think that it's going to be offering better blind spot filtering compared to the Max Ci 360. You see, with the previous version, the Max Ci had newer, better technology for the front antenna, but the rear antenna actually relied on older tech. And so the BSM filtering in the back wasn't as good, and so driving around with it, I would find that I would get more BSM falses from behind without any ability to maybe enable some more aggressive false alert filtering for the rear antenna. That was kind of annoying. However, with the Redline Ci 360, it looks like Escort now has newer technology for both the front and for the rear antenna, just like we see with the Redenso, NetRadar, Stinger, etc. And so I'm glad to see that Escort didn't wind up cutting those same corners this time around. Additionally, something else to note is that compared to the windshield mount version, I think that with the custom installed one, the arrows should now work properly for X-band. You see, if you take a closer look here at the Redline 360C, you can see that it's got two condenser lenses here, right? 1 and 2. Now, one is for X-band, the other is for K and Ka. Now, if you flip it around, if you take a look over here on the side, that is just one lens, one condenser lens. That's strictly for K and Ka band. There is no rear horn for X band. So for those of you guys who do face X band, this is now actually going to have front and rear antennas for X band compared to the windshield mount version that only has a front-facing X band antenna, and so therefore has no directional information. And so long story short, this new custom installed version should actually offer arrows not only for K and Ka, but also for X band. And then lastly, because this is also one of the Blackfin DSP detectors, I definitely hope that Escort continues to address some of the responsiveness issues that we've been seeing with a variety of different K-band guns, especially the Decatur Genesis guns. Moving on, let's next take a quick look here at laser. The head design has been improved here. Escort's calling these the new VX laser heads. And they say that these new heads are 50% smaller than the previous generation heads that were used in the Escort Shifter Max, ZR5, and ZW5. Furthermore, compared to their previous gen jammers, which only supported a max of 4 heads officially, the Redline Ci 360 comes with 5 heads and can be expanded all the way up to 6 heads. And having these extra heads is particularly helpful, both if you have a larger vehicle and you've got more surface area to cover, especially front and rear, as well as to help jam the Dragon Eye, because you'll find that against that gun specifically, sometimes the heads will actually start to behave independently and do different things, and having additional heads can really be beneficial. Now, as far as performance changes here with these new heads, there's nothing mentioned on Escort's website. They just say that it protects against all laser guns. Now, Escort hasn't posted any documentation or a manual or anything for the system, so we don't know things like if they've added some additional features, such as the ability to identify different laser guns so you can know what gun the officer is using when they're targeting you, the way you can get with maybe some competitive jammers. All we really know so far about these new VX laser heads is that number 1, they're smaller, and number 2, it comes with 5 heads and the system supports up to 6 max. Now, because this is called the Redline Ci 360C, it's a connected detector, aka it's got Wi-Fi built in. It's got dual band Wi-Fi, so both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. I am really glad to see Escort add this in. It's something that's been really useful for their windshield mounts, and I think it's kind of a no-brainer to have this built into a custom installed detector as well that's always in your car. So if you've got a Wi-Fi hotspot in your car, you've got all the connected capability without having to rely on Escort Live or Drive Smarter. Looks like this is going to be compatible with Drive Smarter. The apps, Wi-Fi should be a much better option to drive around with day to day. Next, it looks like this new Redline Ci has the same style display and controller as the Max Ci. It does look like they've added some light trim around the edge of the display itself, but otherwise the display and the controller look the same as before. Now, I don't know if it's otherwise the exact same controller and display, if any of the components are interchangeable or the wiring is the same. So let's say you'd want to upgrade from maybe the Max CI to the Redline CI. I don't know how much of this stuff is interchangeable, but design-wise, it definitely does look similar here. Escort also mentions that the system comes with a 3-year warranty and 3-year ticket-free guarantee. That's really good. Redline currently has the best option available with their Ultimate 2.0 package that can give you a lifetime warranty and a lifetime ticket-free guarantee. But nevertheless, the 3-year option here is really good with the Redline CI. Now, as far as the Max CI, I tried going to the page earlier and it just redirects you now to the Redline CI instead. And so it looks like Escort has taken down the listing for the Max CI because I presume it must be discontinued, and I guess it's now going to be replaced by the Redline CI, which honestly I think makes sense. If you're going to be going for like Escort's high-end system, the Redline I think should be the way to go. And then if we were to just quickly compare the Redline CI 360C versus the Max CI 360, there's 4 main improvements that come to mind. Number 1, it should give you better BSM filtering in the rear because it's using the more advanced antennas for both the front and the rear this time around. Number 2, it should add your photo radar detection for things like multi-radar, GATSO, etc. Number 3, you've got Wi-Fi built in. And number 4, it's got the smaller laser jamming heads and also supports now more than 4 heads. Comes with 5, supports up to 6 total. Finally, there's also a lot of stuff that hasn't been posted yet that I'm curious about, that I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. Things like price and expected availability. They haven't posted that yet. We don't know that yet. I'm also curious if it's going to be available a la carte, the way the Max CI was. So you could buy it as just a front radar detector only and then add the rear radar antenna or add laser if you want. That was a helpful option for people who were like, hey, I want to buy the Max CI radar only and then pair it with the ALP for laser or the Stinger or something else. I don't know if the same option is going to be available here for the Redline CI. And speaking of laser, I also don't know yet if there's any performance improvements with these new laser jammer heads. They're smaller and the system supports more of them, which is definitely nice, but I don't know anything as far as improved jamming algorithms or anything like that on the laser side. Now, personally, though, this is something that I would love to test out. I think it's a really nice improvement and evolution upon the Max CI 360. And in fact, it looks like it solves some of the biggest complaints that I had with the Max CI. And overall, it looks like it's a pretty exciting time.
It's a very exciting time.
Because in addition to your Redline RCM and your NetRadar DSP, now we've got the Stinger S8, there's the unit in R9 that's going to be coming out. Now we've got this Redline CI 360C that's going to be coming out. And so it's cool to finally see like more development going on here on the custom installed side. Usually the latest and greatest technology comes on the windshield mounts, and then I guess it eventually trickles into the custom installed side. It's definitely tougher to upgrade the system down the line. Windshield mounts, you can just kind of like pop one off the windshield and put the new one on. Custom installed, it's definitely much more involved to pull the old system and run the new ones. Hopefully the wiring is the same and whatnot. But either way, without going too far down that rabbit hole, that's just a quick look as far as what we know so far for this new Redline CI 360C. For more information, link in the video description both to Escort's page as well as where you can head on over to the forums, and we are all discussing it there. And so, yeah, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.